for this portion of the 7 p.m.ies, we want to highlight arguably the most interesting man in the NBA with the Built Different Award. And this person...
What, physically or what?
In many ways, he's built different. I don't think it's physically. But this person is none other than Celtics head coach
Mindset.
Joe Mazzulla.
The mindset.
As a Celtics fan here, lead us off, man. Talk to us about your favorite moment, your favorite quote, your favorite iteration of Joe just being Joe.
One, I have a love-hate relationship with Mazzulla. I'm not the biggest, like, yeah, he's the guy. He gets on my nerves a lot. But I think I've grown to just accept that he's weird.
Yeah.
And like he has his own way about him.
Strange guy.
He's just a strange dude, man. But it works. You know what I'm saying? When it doesn't work, it doesn't. But when it works, it does. Mm-hmm. I think the most interesting thing that was interesting to me was that he's using the patterns of killer whales killing to build their, what do you say? I think Jim Brown said their offense or their defense.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And I thought that was, it's like whatever weird stuff that he's bringing into the locker room to like implement this Celtics defense and offense, it seems to be working. But also sometimes I'm like, oh, this autistic ass nigga, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like,
it's the elephant in the room. It's right there.
Sometimes I'm like, bro.
I mean, I'm looking at the checklist. I'm like, yeah,
he can lock in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. You need something to focus on.
But it works.
Just
like I'm saying, it super works. But sometimes I'm like, bro, like.
So when they were like, they asked him something. They were like, oh, what do you think about the flopping rules? And it's like, we should all just be able to fight.
That's what I was like. I love this weirdo.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, it was when he's talking about let's just get out there and fight, and he can't understand why it's obvious we cannot do that. But I agree, right? He had that one. It was another one that he had where I was just like, I can't believe that like you really think these things out loud and say them. And he's just like,
he has the type of quotes that if I saw them without seeing him say it, I would think he's joking.
No. It was the one about pressure, right? Where basically it's like, we're not going to die. Like, we're not going to get killed if we don't score any. And he wasn't exaggerating. He was literally like, we're not going to die. Therefore, what's the big deal?
He said something else when he was like, oh, what do you think about, predicting the season? He was like, oh, we're all going to die someday. So like, I'm not even thinking about it.
And that's what he really means. Like, that's what he really means. He did there was the religious answer. They asked him something and he was like, if God doesn't care, I don't care. Something weird.
Here we go.
We're Aristotle, man.
We're either going to win or we're not. And 40 years from now, none of you are invited to my funeral, and that's it. How you know I'm not invited already?
Yeah.
Yo, he practiced study stoicism or some shit. Like, that's too like.
You just can't believe he's really like this.
Like, that's some real stoic shit to do. Like to say like responses that you give when somebody asks you some shit like that. Like, we should just fight. Like, we all gonna die one day. So Mike Tyson shit, like, that's real. Listen, man, we gonna die.
And honestly, it's got to be connecting. I mean, the Celtics,
so, man,
they go out there and they play hard for him. Even
so on the flip side of that, you have people or coaches that does the same thing, but it doesn't come off the right way.
It doesn't come off genuine.
The delivery is not as genuine as Joe. So we might laugh at Joe, even as a player on his team, might be like, man, Coach funny as shit, man. But you understanding what the fuck he's saying.
Joker fight. He
like
doing
you
MMA.
what he's saying. There's other coaches that may be saying the same thing, but it's like it's not believable coming from those guys.
What I think is funny, when Brad left to the front office and they handed over to Ime, quietly we all kind of said the same thing, that the roster perhaps needed someone a little more similar to them in personality than Brad Stevens was. And so, they brought in Ime, somebody who could speak their language, right?
Get the brothers down
right,
here.
Right. And for that year, we were like, Ime was the one who really figured out how to get to it, the bottom line. Then they brought this weird dude in here, and they won the championship. And I know he don't speak their language, because nobody speak his language.
Nah.
Speaking of his language, we got some Joe Mazzulla greatest hits over here that Boy P put up. Quote, the biggest thing that we rob people of from an entertainment standpoint is you can't fight anymore. I wish we bring back fighting.
I love it, Joe.
It's your reminder that he's from around Boston. He's from Rhode Island, but y'all are fighting people.
He's from Rhode Island.
Yeah, you got to fight up there.
That's what y'all, for fun. That's what y'all do.
We got another classic quote. I'm always up to get knocked out.
That's the low man syndrome right there. That's little man syndrome right there. He don't give a fuck.
Spoken as someone who's gotten knocked out before. You gotta have that little thing in you, that little man syndrome.
Part on the left, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Bo already said this one, but quote, we're either gonna win or we're not. 40 years from now, none of you are invited to my funeral, and that's it.
We might get cool. Like he's just saying right now, fuck all y'all.
That's a fact.
I don't think he's gonna get cool with none of them. Not anyone that was in that room.
So, nobody. How many of them have his phone number?
Like none of them.
None of them. But I don't know. There's something about those, like, Joe Mazzulla would only work in New England. There's something about New England and they coaches, like, there's just like the Belichick about it.
Very stoic.
All about stoic.
He belongs to us for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I had to learn to love him that way. Like, because I used to just be like, no to this, no to this, no. Like, I was adamant, get him the fuck out the city, especially early on. I'm like, this dude won't call a timeout. He's wild.
Yeah, y'all was real down on him.
Bro, he's wild because he's wild. He's still wild. Sometimes he still won't call a time. He just do. He's an autistic nigga, bro. Fuck that. That nigga belong to us. I rock with him now. He's you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stand beside him, bro.
I'm gonna stand beside him.
I've been wondering for a year and a half, like figuring delicate ways to talk about this. But then you talk to a comedian and they be like, how about I just say the thing? Well, I got to lose.
She can say
She can say the